Hello and welcome to another exciting Breakfast with Unity. I am a bit out of it and tired this morning, so hopefully this will go well. I'm going to be doing something that I already worked on yesterday on a project, so it should go pretty smooth. But all I wanted to show is how to make a basic shader, since we haven't really touched this. And this is going to be a surface shader, so this is Unity's style of syntax here, though it is very much similar to CG syntax and includes portions of it as well. So, first off, I've downloaded the built-in shaders and put them into a folder in the project. If you sync up to the project as of now, this will be in here. You can also find these if you just search, Google built-in shaders. You'll get to this download archive page. And it has all of the versions of Unity, but also you can download the built-in shaders. And this is the way that you can get at the source code for the shaders that are already in Unity. Normally, you don't just see the source for these things. It's just you just use them in the pull-down menu. This allows you to actually get at it and change it. So, also, if you're on the beta, you'll find the link for the built-in shaders here, and I am on the beta, so that's what we're using. This stuff may require the 4.6 beta. This is available to anyone, and it's a release candidate at this point. It is pretty stable and awesome, so it has all the new UI stuff in it. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be duplicating one of these in here. I'm going to take normal diffuse, which this is the standard diffuse shader, and we're going to I'm going to hit Command D and duplicate it, or Control D if you're on Windows, and we're going to put it into our screen space gradient shader folder, and I'm going to call this screen space gradient. And since it already is shader, I'm not going to say shader at the end of it here. And we're going to open it up and take a look at it. And so first off, the name of the shader in the when we go into an object, I'm going to create a cube or a sphere or something. Let's create a sphere. And why did it go that far away? That's weird. Alright, we're going to do all this. I'm going to bring the camera in a little bit closer to like 5 or something. And we're going to create a light. So, when we go into our sphere, it's using default diffuse here. And that's interesting that it actually now... Does this show? Oh, okay, yeah, default diffuse, that's fine. And I'm going to create we're going to create a material here. Create a material, screen space gradient, and we're going to put this on our sphere. So now our sphere uses screen space gradient, and we can look over here. Screen space gradient right now, it's just set to diffuse. And it's because it's based on this diffuse. And this whole menu is populated based on these names in the shader definitions. So we're going to first rename this. I'm just going to call it screen space gradient for the first moment. And if we look at it, it'll immediately change to screen space gradient. We're done. That's cool. And we still have diffuse here. This represents our other diffuse, our original diffuse shader. If they have the same names, they will overwrite the built-in stuff. So if you have these built-in shaders and you change them, your quote-unquote built-in shaders will effectively be changed. So keep that in mind. If you notice some problems with the shader and you've been playing with them, make sure that you didn't break them. So the other thing you can do here is you can make submenus too. So we could do like pushy pixels / screen space gradient. And all of a sudden it will show up in a menu, so we can go down to pushy pixels, and it has all our shaders in here. And I'm going to do that for right now. First thing I'm going to do is let's do the gradient portion of this. So we're going to just color this thing 2 colors based on inputs here. So what we have here, and you're going to have to bear with me on the syntax here because I am not that familiar with it myself. But what we're going to be doing is kind of fumbling through this. And it's not too hard to do. So we have this color here, so we're going to need a second one. So I'm just going to copy this. We're not going to need a texture. I'm going to get rid of the texture here. And, let's keep the texture. Let's make it so you can have the texture too. Why not? We're not going to use it on the show, but I'm just going to create another color. And we're going to call it color 2. And I'm going to call this top color, and bottom color. This is going to be a vertical gradient, bottom color. And actually, I'm going to call it that. I'm going to call it a vertical screen space gradient. And so this color here is combined somehow magically in behind the scenes with this color here. We're going to need another variable just like this one called in here. So we're going to do color 2. So this now represents the same thing that this is here. Again, this is Unity's surface shader style, and so in all of the shaders that you do in Unity, the properties are additional information. This is actually telling you what to put in the editor, basically. So like if we do color 1 and color 2, now we have top color, bottom color, and it shows these. We can change what the default colors are, so if we wanted like a default color to be like green or something, we could do that. And this should turn into, well, if I hit reset on it, it'll turn green. So these are just the default values of what shows up in the editor. This is what's actually used by the shader. And so now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this color go in here. And so I'm going to search really quick for shader Unity lerp. All right. Texture combiners. Here we go. Lerp. No, this is not the one. This is not what we want. Lerp in shader. Huh. Unity shader color lerp. Mixing 2 colors with lerp function doesn't work. Let's see what it says. They say that it's not working, but maybe they are using it at least. Okay, it's just lerp. Well, that makes it easy. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this lerp. So this, currently we're taking the texture and then we're multiplying it by color. What this does is this basically colorizes the texture. It's not, I forget, I don't think it's actually a tint. It's, instead it's a, God, I'm explaining this really badly. If you had all white in your texture and you multiplied it by green, it would be green. If you had all black in your texture and you multiplied it by green, it would be black. It's just a multiply. It literally is that. So, and it just automatically does cool stuff. So we're going to replace this with our lerp for our color. So we're going to do lerp, and our lerp is going to be between our underscore color, our color 2, and the lerp value is going to have to be based on the position on the screen. So we're going to need to get that. So let's search for shader screen space Unity. And in the surface shader examples on Unity here, they actually have an example of screen space. There we go. So what we can do now is we can see how this works. Here's the main thing that we need. We can get the screen UVs by getting the screen position X, Y, and W. And this stuff comes from this structure, which is actually defined by us. And so we have to add this line and this line to get our screen position. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So we're going to just create a screen position in our input. Boop. And we're just going to copy and paste our screen UV values into our surface portion. I'm going to put it at the top here. And now we can use this value in our calculation. So we're going to use this, since this is a vertical screen space, we're going to use the Y as how to interpolate this. So it's going to be screen UV dot Y. And since this is in UV space and a screen space, this will be between 0 and 1, so this is perfect for our lerp. We're set up. So if we hit save now, and we go back into the project, you'll see that we've already had something change here. Now, it looks like it's the opposite of what we thought it was going to be. So if we do like 2 garish colors, we're going to do blue and red. You can see that this is now shaded red and down to blue. And if we move it in screen space, like if we take our Y value and move it up, it becomes more red and more blue. That's the reason it's called screen space shading. So this is working, but our colors are reversed. So let's quickly reverse those back. So we said this was top and this was bottom, so I'm going to just I'm just going to call this color 2 and call this color 1. And then hopefully these will now correspond. All right, so now if we go to our sphere, top is blue, that looks good, and bottom is red. And notice we still have the shading of the sphere. And this is the advantage of using a surface shader rather than a pixel shader. If we did a pixel shader, we would just have the flat color, and we'd have to write our own Lambert shading. With the surface shader, we can just specify we want a Lambert shading, and then we're just going to specify our albedo, which is actually what's being passed in here. Our color here is being passed into albedo. Albedo is basically the diffuse component of your it's the color component of your object. So finally, screen space. Wait, we're already done. Sweet. Okay, that was fast, faster than I actually expected. I just realized that we're actually done. That's hilarious. So, so if we want to, you can kind of create some really stark stuff with this. If you wanted to, you could just create. We could turn off their directional light, and we could change the ambient so that there's just pure ambient light. So if we just go to render settings and choose ambient light here, and put it to full. This is now basically unshaded and stuff. You could, of course, make a shader that was unshaded if you needed this, and that would take less calculation because it's not doing a light calculation. But now this thing just is totally based on vertical position. So this is kind of cool, too, because we can do stuff like, if we go to the render settings and make the skybox material be our screen space gradient as well. Actually, I'm going to duplicate it. And we're going to call this skybox. And we're going to go into where it was before, render settings, throw this in here. I think this will work. Yeah, so now we've got this skybox screen space thing. And why is this darker? They're both supposed to be the same at this point. Maybe my suggestion of changing the color is not... No, that... Why is it so dark in the middle? Kind of hoping to have something a little bit trippier looking out of this. I'm just going to make it like bigger real quick. Yeah, there's definitely still some shading going on. So this isn't a perfect solution. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just revert this back to... I don't actually remember what the defaults are. Let me save this level real quick. Screen space. Yeah, whatever. So we're going to save this level. I'm going to go to another level real quick just see what our default settings were. Render settings, ambient light, it's 51 across the board. All right, let's just switch that back. Project settings, render settings, 51 across the board. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to leave this. So the other thing we could do is if we wanted to create more contrast here, there's already some contrast. I was expecting there to be 0 at the start, but what we can do is we can actually reverse the gradients here. And that's basically what I was doing in my little elevator game. So I'm going to do red, and then we're going to do blue, and then we can create this incredibly high contrast scenario no matter where the sphere is on the screen, which has kind of a trippy quality to it because as you look up and down, or as the screen moves, or as the object moves, its color space changes. Oh, weird. Okay. I officially can't explain what's going on there, but that explains the discrepancy. The discrepancy is actually not the sphere rendering wrong, it's actually the background rendering wrong. Now, admittedly, I'm using a skybox material here based on a non-cube map, which is not normally what you do in a skybox. So there might be just some additional stuff that I didn't realize is going on behind the scenes. That's kind of funny that this is happening, though. But yeah, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe I'll do some research on that later. But this is a very basic shader. I know that we kind of blew through it, but hopefully this will be something if you, at least you'll have an effect to play with. If you didn't understand how to work it, at least you might be able to understand how to make it work. Use it at least. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please email me pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me at Drakfire. That's DRAKFYRE. Thank you very much. Please donate to us on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/unity, patreon.com/cookied with unity, you can donate to the show. And if you donate to the show, you can get access to the Cookied with Unity super repo, which has additional stuff like the code for the office building generator program that I was working on this weekend, among other things. So please donate. You get access to cool stuff, and it helps the show. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tonight with a full episode of Cooking with Unity and on the light gun game. And you guys have a great one. I'll see you tonight. All right, banter time. To the show, and if you don't. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hello, everybody. All right. Mornings. So it looks like we're at the end, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast. Is it at the end? To the show, you can get access to the... Yeah, I'm sure this is done now. See you guys.